Hello and welcome to Rule of Three's video review for Shadow Warrior, first-person shooter from Flying Wild Hog and published by Devolver Digital. So this is a remake of a 1996 3D Realms game of the same title that is apparently super racist and like politically incorrect in every sense of the word. But it was, a follow-up to kind of like the more Doom kind of games. Doomquake, I believe. So the 2014 remake is obviously a remake of that game, and while I still think the game may, offend some people on its kind of stereotypes, it is a generally fun game that you can't take seriously. In my opinion, this is kind of like Blood Dragon in terms of like, if you take this game serious, you're playing it wrong.
Boss seems to enjoy seeing himself 100 feet tall. What's that about?
I don't know. He's a visionary, I guess.
A visionary dickhead, it looks like.
You made armor for the demon invaders. Shut the
So the story of Shadow Warriors, you play as kind of business courier shogun guy named Lo Wang. The pun is intended. He goes to buy a sword from someone for his boss. He works for the company that is interested in purchasing a kind of legendary sword from this one man, and Lo Wang finds himself kind of mixed up into this supernatural war and ushers in the demon apocalypse. So it's up to him to find the swords and make sure that all the demons die. On the whole, the story is kind of it is funny, at least character-wise. Lo Wang is hilarious, and the game is like a really, really bad joke. Like I said, the reason I said it kind of equates to Blood Dragon in the opening is that's kind of how I felt the story and characters were. It's very, it knows it's bad and wants to play that up as much as possible, and it succeeds. There's a lot of really good jokes in the game. Like I said, Lo Wang is pretty damn funny. Hoji is an interesting character. I mean, they did a really good job of kind of just making this over-the-top nostalgia, like 90s shooter kind of game. Gameplay is your typical first-person shooter from, I would say, once again, kind of the 90s. You pick up guns, you use guns, you shoot things. You do have a sword, which is your main weapon. You use that to hack off enemy limbs and heads, and is by far the most useful weapon in the game. Unless you're dealing with bigger enemies or like even large crowds, I'd say use the sword. It's really only bigger enemies that I would say don't use the sword. But you get like a revolver, machine gun, crossbow, bazooka, stuff like that. And you go around killing demons. There are a couple of classes of demons, and they can also do what's called an enrage, to where they become faster, do more damage, and all that good stuff. So you want to kill them as fast as possible, not give them any opportunities to hit you. The shooting mechanics, I have, like, the sword play is fine. I mean, it's pretty much just repeatedly press the trigger button to keep swinging the sword as fast as possible. There's also a heavy strike, which you use by pushing the opposite trigger, and a couple other things we'll talk about in a minute. When you're using guns, I felt the gun mechanics were kind of off. They were very, what's the word? Not easy to use. The zoom wasn't that useful. You pretty much just hip fire the entire game. The revolver I thought was practically useless. The machine gun was the only that and the crossbow were the only two weapons I felt that had any use. So the shooting mechanics aren't the greatest. The sword play is okay. The other issue I have is with the controls. As you play the game, you're going to collect what are called key crystals and key points. You get key crystals by picking up crystals. You get key points by killing enemies. It's basically EXP. You spend these to unlock different abilities. These abilities you use by double tapping a direction and pushing one of the trigger buttons. The problem I have with this is it doesn't always work. It is very... It just doesn't read well. Like there's one spell that you get at the very beginning of the game that heals you, and it's tap left or tap right twice, push L or the left trigger button. And I would do that and it would never work, except when it decided to, which was kind of stupid. and it's the same with all of the different spells and abilities, is they don't work unless it really feels like it. Because it just doesn't read the double tap. I'm guessing the you know, the best. That mechanic, I think they could have done a lot better by using either directional pads, just toggling between moves, stuff like that. The whole double tap and then push a button I felt was pretty terrible and didn't work the greatest. Another mechanic, as I said, there's another cool thing is the gather crystals and blood or key points. Is there's a lot of hidden stuff in the game. The maps are fairly large, and it, you know, encourages exploration. Like, I would explore the crap out of maps, and I enjoyed that aspect of this game, is the exploring and trying to find all the hidden fun stuff. Other than points and crystals, there's also fortune cookies, which have some of the best fortunes I've ever read from a fortune cookie. So far, some of my favorite ones are, "This isn't the fortune cookie you were looking for," and your mom says hi. There's just a couple of other like meme ones, and they're pretty funny. There's also hidden little like old school things from like the previous game, as well as just kind of pixelated pictures and stuff that are interesting to find. Other than that, you can upgrade guns as well with money that you find, and that is about it mechanic-wise. Like I said, it's really the controls I think that hindered this game the most. The sword play is really the only type of control that works the best, but it's really just spam it as much as possible to win.
Did he tell you where the creatures come from, love?
Let's focus on getting out of here, then you can ask him yourself.
That's Kyokugami, twin assassins, Zilla's favorite.
I thought you were his favorite.
I'm supposed to compete with that?
So I'm not gonna lie, when I first got Shadow Warrior, I thought it was gonna be like really bad. Mostly because I hadn't heard about it. When I was reading about the previous one, it just didn't sound good. However, I was pleasantly surprised that as soon as I just kind of had that, that thought process playing this game in my head, the gameplay is a lot better than I thought it would. While the gameplay, I think, is probably the weakest aspect, the humor of this game just reminded me a lot of Blood Dragon's humor and kind of just the fun of that kind of game. This is not a game that you're going to, win any awards. It's a game that is just pure entertainment, and it accomplishes that on a story character level. It is like I said, it's generally funny, and I had fun playing it. I'm giving Shadow Warrior a rent verdict, and that's it. So next review will be Sunset Overdrive for the Xbox One. That will be coming out first, and then Lords of the Fallen for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One will be the second one this week after this one. Both those should be up either. One should be up Saturday, the other one should be up Sunday or Monday. Depends on how much time it takes me to edit the Lords of the Fallen video and get enough footage, obviously. So that's it for this review. Make sure to check out the website Rule of 3 for all the latest news posts I try to get up. I only post news that is, actually newsy and not speculation hype kind of articles. I just post facts. It makes keeping track of things a little easier, and also I don't hype up games as that's kind of what I try to do, at least on posts. Check out the podcast, Trifecta Gaming News. We comes out every Sunday and covers all the news of the week, including speculation and other fun things. And you'll get to hear me hype some stuff up and then diss other games, or not diss anything, but they're generally pretty fun podcasts. Like us on Facebook and Twitter. Subscribe to our channel to get all our updates on whenever these videos go live. And that's it for this review. Thanks for listening, everybody, and always remember to trust in the Rule of 3.